All right, still here, crunk up and everything. God bless everybody. Hope y'all are still doing well. Chris, coming back responding with you before I get out of here. I hope I'm gonna get out of here this time. You was talking about the video with the motors in it, the cars. Now we talking about video. This video we talking about cars, man, and how I compare a car with our bodies. Because when you think about it, man, a car is just like the body in so many ways because you got to take care of that car. You know, if you don't put no fluids in that car ain't gonna run. You'll lock the motor up. You have to take care of your body. And when you think about the body in the car, think about it if we don't never get water. Think about your body, how much percentage of your body is made up of water. And when you don't drink water, you don't eat the right things, how your body break down just like your car. And let's get real, even when you're taking care of your body, you still can break down just like your car. Well, I just put a new alternator on there and then the battery went out. I always look at the alternator and the battery. And for those who love cars, shout out to my girl Lisa, because I know you'll love this kind of video dealing with cars. When you think about the battery by itself, and then you think about how the battery jumps the car off. After that, it's not on the battery no more. The alternator got to do its job. So when the battery get it going, then the alternator, see, one thing people don't understand is that when you get your car running, see, old school cars, this is how you can tell if your alternator is still good when you snatch the cable off the battery. And if that car keep running, you got a damn good alternator. And I always think about how the Lord, I think about our heart when I think about the alternator and the battery. How the Lord pumps that air in us. That he breathes in us, that we are still living. And what keeps this heart pumping is God. Sometimes I say, Lord, thank you for being my alternator that never went out. Because he allows me to wake up in the morning and he keeps me going. Not no machine. That's why I know that there's a God. And since we're talking about cars, when you think about motors and transmissions, it's so many people get so caught up in the motor. Oh, I got a hard-hitting motor. That they don't never understand that it's the transmission that's playing a big part also. The transmission is taking the load off the motor in so many ways. This is why I try to tell these youngsters riding around here on these rims, they always wondering why they need ball joints and the A-frame, all their front end is messed up, shocks and struts and everything. They wonder why they ride for about 3 months, then they right back buying these parts with these big wheels. Because the bigger the wheels, the more gas you're going to drink. And when you have these big 24s and rims pulling, you got a weak transmission. It's not going to last that long. That car's not going to run that long. Because you have to have that power to carry on with those big wheels. And most people are so caught up on the outside appearance of the car that they don't understand how precious the motor is and how beautiful that motor. If that motor is not in shape, you don't have no car at all. And that's why I was tying this in with our body. If we don't stay in shape and stop doing all this stuff that punish our body, that we will break down and we will be out of here with the snap of a finger. As I'm looking at my man right now, he's rebuilding a 350. He's about done with it. He's putting it off in the GMC back there. I watched him break that motor down from scratch. I'm looking at the compression that is pushing out. I'm looking at how when he goes in the wrecking yard, the way he checks the compression of these motors, he'll get a small paper towel, put it in there, and turn that crank. Pow! See how it shoot out. And if it shoot out hard, that's a good motor. But if it's so weak, then he know he's not going to get that motor. See, this is just probably car talk, so I'm gonna say. Because then you think about the starter. What can you do if the starter done went out? But old school can relate to this. When your starter is going out, how many of y'all ever had to get that screwdriver? Get up under there and tap that starter. Touch them screws together. Or on some of these Fords, you can lift it and do it up under the hood. That's why I say it's a lot of things you can ride without in the car. Especially when you look on the inside of the car. Because there's so many ways to get around stuff when stuff go out. And this is how I learned a whole lot about cars, because growing up, JT had some raggedy cars. I told y'all in my old video, I used to call them, what's wrong with you today? New sound car, because every day I would hear a new sound in the car. What's wrong with this car today? What's wrong with this truck? That's why when I hear a car going down the street, I got them ears like my old man. I hear all that squeaking. His back brakes gone out. His alternator's about to give. They need to tighten up that belt. They running on metal to metal on them brakes because they don't have nothing at all back there. And people ride long and they hear that stuff, but some can't hear it, and they keep riding anyway. Knowing you can't hear those brakes squeaking in the back. Even simple stuff like cutting your compressor off, your air conditioning off with your car. A lot of people leave it on. They don't understand. That put hurt on your compressor. So I know this video might be weird to some people, the people that love cars. See, my old man built race car motors. I've learned so much about cars, man, and I love it, man, because that's something else that I love to do and look at, man, because it takes my mind off of stuff. Just like music, man. Music takes my mind off of stuff. And I can be feeling down, and I can get on the keyboard and go back there and start messing with cars or whatever. K-Ray, I know you know what I'm talking about. I was looking at my man break a distributor down from scratch. How he rebuild carburetors from scratch. I got a partner that's JJ, that's in Pleasant Grove, that all he do is rebuild transmissions. And he'll show you how you break a transmission all the way down. And big shout out to you, JJ. So, man, it's beauty. I look at cars and I look at the body, man. You know, our check engine light is on. We need servicing. That's why we have to go to the doctor sometime. You know, what's wrong with you? And I don't know, I got this pain in my back. Just like a car. What's wrong with the car today? I don't know. And when a car go out, it's hard to be a diagnosis machine. But in so many ways, you can diagnose a car. If you know how to take spark plugs out, look at the number ones, see if you're getting fuel pressure, you know. How to tell if the timing chain is getting weak, how you pull the distributor cap off, see what that rotor is doing. Man, there's so many ways to tell what's wrong with a car, but sometimes when a car go out, especially these new cars, you be like, what's wrong? My boy giving me a crash course right now on one of these new Lincolns. Man, I tell you, boy, I'm looking at how some of these spark plugs are this long now. And how they making these cars where you got to take them back to the dealership. That's they playing, people. This is why I love old school. See, a lot of people laugh at me because I'm old school. But when I pop that hood on that old truck, man, how you get that motor like this? Man, that motor. And see, when you got a good motor and you take care of it, that joker lasts you a long time, man. I got an old Lincoln out there. I've been had since 98. That joker pushing 225,000 on it. And it's going to go and keep going. And people are like, you still got that old car? Yeah. I still got that old car. And the air conditioning, everything, blowing cool. And I can go anywhere in that car right now. I can crank it up and drive it out of town right now. And I don't have no fear. That truck, I got that old 83 Chevy y'all seen. That's an 83. And it's got air conditioning in it. Power lock, power windows. And people get in it, they laugh. Be like, how you get this old truck to be like this? Because it's not so much of it's old. I renewed it. Restored it. Just like we renew our mind, you can restore those old vehicles. And I'm going to tell you something. Those older vehicles got stronger motors in them. They are powerful. It's hard. Let me talk like that Lincoln. That Lincoln got a 5.0 in it. It's hard to tear that 5.0 motor up. Because, well, if you are familiar with heads, and you got these aluminum heads, then you know what I'm talking about. I have ran that car hot all the way home one day coming from church. Just because I think the thermostat was sticking. I have pulled over on the freeway I don't know how many times and fixed my own vehicle. And I would do it right on the freeway. I don't have to call road service. I got a jack in the back of the trunk that'll jack an airplane up. Huge. That's why I stay prepared, man, because I never know what's going to happen. I'm like you, Lisa. I cut out everything. So I'm just doing a little talk about motors. There's so much I can talk about motors and timing chains and water pumps and so much. You know what, Sister Lisa, I was gonna tell you that. That's the reason why I bought that old truck. The only thing that was wrong with that, I paid $400 for that truck. The only thing that was wrong with that truck when I got it was it needed a timing chain on it. And I got that joker for $500, half ton, you know what I'm saying? And broke it down, time I got it. Bought it and fixed it in the same day. When got the timing chain, and you know when you take the chain off, you might as well do the water pump as well because everything is right there. Put the new tune, the tune up on there, set the timing right. Old school can set a timing with their ears. A lot of people use a timing light, but old school, they can hear that joker. That's how my daddy was so cold, man. So I picked up a lot of things out of my papa, man. And if you're looking at this video, Pop, shout out to you because you was building them motors, man. Pop could break a motor down, tell you what's wrong with it. That was his life. Him and his brother, Jimmy and Pop, man, they could break some motors down, brother. I'm talking about breaking them down to the hardest. And I used to love watching a lot that my pop did. Not only could he detail the hell out of a car, but he could fix those cars. But now he don't do that no more. When Pop was in the hospital and almost lost his life, a lot of things he couldn't do no more. So, but he still comes up here with my boy in the back, Manuel, and we learn so much, man. Because I like what Pop said the other day, you ain't never too old to learn. Because that man back there, man, when it come to, that was his gift. K-Ray, we was watching him the other day, wasn't we, man? And to watch his knowledge, his wisdom, I mean, the things that he do to these vehicles, man. He was showing me, well, actually, we had broke my Lincoln down one night, and he took a fuel pump off a Japanese car and showed me how to work in that Lincoln. It was funny what he did. And then he took another one off a Roadmaster. He got so many tricks and trades, man. So when you think about the car, think about the body also, man. The heart. It's the motor. It's the heart of the car that keeps it rolling. And young man, if you listening to this video, it ain't about your rim. Ain't nothing wrong with you work hard, buy your stuff, fine. I'm not telling you don't buy rims, but I'm telling you, if you going to ride on rims, take care of the damn car. Take care of the motor. And quit wondering why you always on flat and why your ball joints broke every other week look like. Why you burning so much gas, you complaining, because you got to understand, you got to have a strong motor and a strong transmission. What good is the car without the transmission? How you going to get out of gear? How you going to move forward? How you going to move backwards? My mom and them had a car a long time ago. The transmission was still good, but it was bad. It wouldn't go to reverse. So everywhere we went, we had to park on the hill. So when we had to get out, the car would be on the hill. That was our reverse. That joker stayed like that I don't know how long. And then Pop and them got rid of it. So just having another fun video, man, talking about cars, man, and just real talk, because I can talk about cars all day long, man, and what I have done on them, man. And I think the most interesting thing to me that I learned, not when I put my own transmission in, but when I was, and back in the day, old school, they would put that transmission on their chest. They wouldn't use no jack. They'll sit that transmission on their chest and get up under there. Man, I tell you, but a lot of things you can't do nowadays like you used to do. But what was interesting to me was when they started putting those fuel pumps inside the gas tank. And how you got to take that gas out of there, man, drain it. But it's just, I don't know why that was amazing to me to see a fuel pump inside of a tank. I learned that years ago. I had an old 1990 Buick Regal with a sunroof, and my tank was in the middle, man. I mean, my fuel pump was inside of the tank. And I thought a lot of that stuff was just amazing how stuff operate. But, man, I ain't going to talk no more. Let me shut up and get out of here, because I know I done bored some of y'all. But to those who love cars and things, look at a car and always compare it with the body also. How we overheat. Our service engine light comes on. We need to be checked on, and we need tune-ups. So, y'all be blessed and take care. Peace.